Morning, everybody. How are you? It is lovely to see you on this very sunny but extremely cold morning down here in New Zealand. Oh my gosh, it must be snowing all over New Zealand because it's so chilly here. I'm actually quite warm. I've got the heater on. I'm all cozy. I don't have my hot water bottle today. Strangely, I must be acclimatizing to the colder weather, but I am dressed up warm in my really cozy serpentine jumper. I don't know about you, but I go through phases and sometimes I really want to wear cardigans. But when it gets cold like this and the weather starts to really drop, I just want to wear jumpers, just warm, cozy jumpers. So I've put my serpentine on. I've been wearing this one. I've been wearing this one and I've been wearing my henna, the one with the rolled neck. I've been wearing that quite a lot. And I'm actually planning to make a second one. And I'll show you that maybe next week. I'll show you. I'm hoping to get that on my needles. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to another one. I'm going to hold some Truly Myrtle sport weight yarn with some mohair and whip up myself another roll neck jumper because it's so warm. Okay, everybody, how are you? I can see you popping in. Hey, Sabrina, it's lovely to see you, Morena. Hi from sunny California. I'm not sure who that is, but that sounds nice. Hi, Kim, how are you? Oh, someone's made two serpentines. Who would that be? Who's made two serpentines that I can think of? Is that you, Tamara? I'm not sure. Tamsin, maybe? I'm not sure who's made two serpentines. Somebody has. But yeah, that's a really good one. I knitted this one in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. So it's quite a thicker yarn. This yarn is a funny yarn because it really breaks easily, but once it's knitted up, it is just delicious. It's obviously, it gains a bit of strength by being knitted together. But this one has sort of got a bit of a back wing going on. It's the one where you knit the shoulder and then the other shoulder, and then you pick up the front and then the back, and you join it in the round, and it's sort of, this one is sort of shaped a little bit like this, and then it has this split hem at the bottom. It's ever so light. It's just light. Oh, it's Jeanette. Oh yes, Jeanette, I do remember now. I see all your photos and your pictures and everything, and sometimes I forget to link your names with your pictures, but I do remember yours, Jeanette. You've got some beautiful knits, Jeanette. But this one is light and warm because it's a woolen spun. I really like it. It reminds me, it is quite marshmallowy. I know some people have a bit of a problem with woolen spun, but I adore woolen spun, and it was so nice to wear. All right, let me see what you're saying here. Blah, 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 blah. Just go back. Oh, Joe's got the fire roaring in cold and overcast Oamaru. Look, I hope you get some of our sunshine. It's just, you can see it pouring in my window. It's beautiful. It's chilly in Rangiora, Tamsin. Fantastic. Oh, it's really cold where Morgan is as well. Look, these are all people down in New Zealand here. Cold and wet in the south, but heading to warmer climates and family tomorrow. Oh, you are, Terry. Have a wonderful time. She's off to visit her family in Canada. Barbara, filthy weather in Christchurch where I'm taking a sneaky peek while I'm at work. Good on you, Barbara. Barbara's just made our new test for Wardrobe Toolbox. I can't talk to you about that today. I'll tell you about that next week because it all comes out next week. We've got a new pattern and she's done such a pretty job. So in fact, lots of you have. I'm loving watching your photos come. Hey everyone, it's lovely to be here. It's Pam, nice to see you too. Hi Claire, it's cold and overcast. What has happened? Because it's so sunny here, but it's been pouring. I think it hailed about 3 times yesterday here. Crazy. It's freezing in Melbourne. Hi Joe from the UK, lovely to see you. What's your weather like, Joe? My sister keeps saying it's grey and cloudy and raining, and, and so I don't know. Are you getting much of a summer? Morning from Melbourne. It's a top of 20. Well, that's quite cold for you, isn't it? That's cold. Yeah, there we are. Joe's just said it's cold and raining in the UK. I was actually listening. Now, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I've forgotten her name, but she's a very pretty blonde woman, Scottish, who was on the Sewing Bee years ago, and she's opened a shop called Guthrie. Someone will remind me. I'm sure you know. Anyway, she's got a really nice little shop, which I've never been to, but I enjoy watching her podcast. She shows off the fabric that she has in the shop and flip. My eyeballs just about popped out of my head at the price of some of the fabrics now. They're getting quite expensive. I think she was saying that she had this beautiful, I've got something in my eye. I think she was saying she had this absolutely beautiful Liberty silk, beautiful, and it was something like £60 a meter. So she had some good ideas about how to use it just for a tiny little top. Or I actually thought one of her ideas was really good, and that was to line a jacket for just the body parts. That's not much fabric. And then you could have this fabulous Liberty silk lining and then regular lining for the sleeves. I thought that was quite a good idea. But yes, I was watching her. Now, why did I start saying this? Because I think the weather, because she was wearing this nice, beautiful little white shirt. And she said, this would be pretty for a sundress if we ever get summer. I think that's why I started saying that story. But anyway, I enjoyed watching that. Oh, you've nearly finished the test. Yay, Beck. Thank you for that. It's -5 in the Wairarapa. That is, look, for everyone who comes from Canada and cold parts of America, that's quite cold for us down here. It's a beautiful sunny morning in the far north. Lovely. In Wisconsin, in the US, 85 degrees, sitting on your deck, knitting, eating dinner. It's Wednesday evening. Oh, well, Thursday's looking good. Thursday is actually good. It was a chilly start, but the sun is shining. There's a good vibe in the air. Thursday's quite good. You'll be ready for that tomorrow. Hi, Charmaine from Bambala, New South Wales. It's -1 where you are. It's absolutely brilliant for knitwear. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, it's 5 degrees, not -5. I was going to say, well, I did say that's very cold. 5 degrees. It's still cold. That's it. Okay. I'm all over the shop. Guthrie and Garney. Can you remember her first name? I can't remember her first name. But it's a really fun podcast. I do like watching and just to see what people have got in their shops. I think it's an excellent idea for fabric shops just to show off what they've got and then talk about it. I find it a really engaging way of interacting with the fabric shops, particularly because I often order fabric online, and so you don't get a chance to see how it moves or actually see it, you get a sense of the scale. I know that you can have rulers and things on them, but it's difficult sometimes to get a sense of scale. So I really like tuning into those. Jo said it's going to rain for another week in the UK where she is. Oh, Jo. I used to buy my girls the things I loved about the UK summer. I used to buy my girls these things. We called them summer sneakers. You could wear sneakers all year. I quite liked that. And I loved the fact I could wear my jeans and a 4-ply cardigan literally all year. Those are things I did actually quite like about the summer. Lauren Guthrie. Thank you. Yes. Check her out if you like. She's on Instagram, but I don't use Instagram. So she's on, she puts her podcast on YouTube and I just watch it there. And it's really good. I've been really enjoying it. And I'm talking about sewing because, I just am desperate to sew. I haven't sewed for ages. And I've been so busy doing all sorts of things and a lot of knitting and a lot of making things around knitting. And I have really, really missed those other creative parts of my life. I've been cooking and I've been tidying the house. I suppose you could call that home decorating in some far-fetched way. But anyway, I tidy the house kind of, and I cook. I enjoy cooking dinners, and not all the time, but you know what I mean. I enjoy putting together a really nice meal. And I have been doing a heap of knitting, which I love, obviously, but I have so missed other things. And I wanted to talk to you today because I wanted to hear from you as well about how you, for those of you who have a broad range of creative interests, how are we getting those other interests into our lives? How are we making time to slot those in? I just decided last week, sod it, I decided I'm just going to do some of it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. And so I have begun to make it happen. And I'll show you some of that. Terry says, I really miss having a good fabric shop. I love being able to touch and feel a fabric and you see the colors for what they are. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Terry. I mean, I have Spotlight is near me, and occasionally, they actually do have some reasonably nice fabric in there. But there are some lovely fabric shops in town. But for me, I don't really like going into town. It takes ages for me to get down. And, because I'm way out in the country and it does take ages and it's so much traffic and I avoid going. I go months without going anywhere near town. So even for some of the shops in there, I order things online. But, and I have so much fabric, I have to actually stop ordering fabric. You've seen fabric that I have bought that I haven't made yet. But I agree, it's really nice to see it in the flesh. Oh, Joe made a fried rice the other day. Nice. I make a menu plan in the week and I enjoy that because it means that I can try things out of all my beautiful recipe books and I can write down things that I've been wanting to try for ages, make sure I have the ingredients for them, and then I don't have to think about it again. I just open the menu plan and I'm like, oh, look at that. We're having this delicious meal tonight. I'll get onto that. It's quite good. This could be Sabrina. I spent yesterday afternoon mending. I'm looking forward to sewing something new. That could be you, Sabrina. I see that because you've been mending your socks in your house. I've actually got something to mend. I'll tell you about that in a second. Alyssa says, slot them in with great difficulty. She's got 4 skirts to cut out and sew, but knitting is cozier in these cold mornings. I know there is that. I know, Terry, I thought exactly that's what I was thinking of when I said that about the fabric. I accidentally bought 2 pieces of this really bold, colourful fabric, and I still haven't made it up. But I have just looked at it the other day and thought, every time I look at it, I think of you because you always comment on how I put those 2 beautiful pieces of fabric. Oh, it's you, Tams, and you're mending as well. Okay, I'll show you what I have done. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you one other thing because you know how I showed you the shawls that I'm wearing all the time at the moment? I went back into my room and they're lonely, all by itself, lonely. Flipped over my wardrobe door was this one. And I had left her there and I had forgotten to bring it out and show you. And she was just sitting there lonely, waiting. And this is Vila, and I adore Vila. I adore this shawl. So she is a lace weight shawl. She has this fabulous horseshoe pattern on her. She has this sort of faux ribbing at either end that you create with the eyelets. So that's the same at both ends. And she's long, look at this, and she's long and she's light and she's beautiful to wear. I often will wear her just around my neck a couple of times like that and all tucked up. Where's the short butt? All tucked up like that. Or else I'll wear her just with just with one loop, and then I like to knot her up. She's so nice because she just gives me that little bit of warmth that I want without any of the bulk at all. And she's so pretty and feminine. I love it. I used a beautiful fiber spates for this. It's a merino silk. It's just soft and lovely. So sometimes I wear her like that too. But I quite like her knitted. What am I knitting on? I'm knitting on, actually, I'm just about to start something new, which is exciting. But I am continuing to knit on these jumpers that I started in my own yarn. So I might spend the rest of the week just doing that, actually. See, that's her, Vila. She's absolutely gorgeous. And then the other one, which I realize I also have been grabbing, which was over my hook where I put my bags and things as I come in the door, is this one, Flux. Now this one, I just love this shawl. I love it. This is one of the ones that I have worn. I just love wearing it, and I love the way it has these buttonholes in the border. The border is actually a whole range of buttonholes. You knit her side to side. A lot of you have seen Flux. I did this with the Pacifico collection with Marie Green, and I've got a little sticker on it. But you knit her side to side up like that. It's completely reversible, so it doesn't matter what side is showing. And you just knit up and create this great big asymmetric triangle, which slightly asymmetric, but when you hold it out, ends up being like this enormous triangle. I used Julie Asselin yarn. It's a nice thick yarn. It's a woolen spun. It's got this beautiful tweediness to it. And I just love this chevron pattern. And then what I did was when you bind it off, you do these buttonholes down the binding off side, and then you curl around the corner. See here, curl around the corner. I tell you how to do it all. And then you do the buttonholes on the other side too. So you can just leave that. That could just be your border. You could just leave it like that, or you could do what I did, and you can pop buttons on. I've got 5 buttons on each side. They're quite big buttons, see, on each side, and then I wear her. I'll take this one off, even though it's so warm. It's lovely. I just saw someone say, I'm planning on a shawl for my daughter's wedding. Oh yes, Vila, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful for your daughter's wedding. I think it'll be lovely. It's really pretty, that one. Oh, Joe's got a few sweaters on the go. Excellent. Kim says she's got that scarf on her needles right now. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I wear this one. I feel like a bit of a rock star in this shawl, actually. A little bit, a little bit like I might have just been a bit stylish in this shawl. And so what I do is I grab the button. I put it on like that, right, bandana style. And then I grab the buttons. Now I can't probably do this very well, trying to look in the camera because it's all back to front. But I grab a button. Oh, that was my covering over the sun in the window. Never mind. Hopefully it's not too bright. I grab the buttons and I button up like this. On both sides. And it becomes a bit like a poncho. And for all of you who keep telling me you want me to make a poncho, which I may or may not do, I don't really wear ponchos much. I used to wear ponchos a little bit, but this is like a quasi poncho. So I button it up like that, and then I arrange it. So it sort of sits on my neck like that. And I have these funky buttons. You have to get buttons you like. These are coconut buttons. And then you put it on like that. And it is toasty warm. And I just feel like I just like it. I really like wearing it. I feel it's a bit like a kind of a coat, halfway between a coat and a shawl. So if it's not coat weather, although yesterday I actually had my coat on and then I threw this over the top of my coat, just like a big, babushka shawl. I just threw it around my coat and it was raining. So when I ran in to grab my daughter, I just put it over my head like that, like proper babushka. And it was great. Anyway, so this is Flux, and she is another one that I wear. So I thought I'd better finish that off and round that off for you because I had forgotten both of those, especially poor old Vila. She just sat there like camouflaged on my door. But I will go back and I'll tell you what I have decided to do, what I've been making that isn't knitting, but is kind of related to knitting. I have got all my fabric out. It's all now all over the hall floor. I have to work out how I can access it a bit more easily. Poor Mr. Myrtle, he tries to work in there and there's fabric all over the floor and I have got some plans of what to do, but I have to get onto that. So it started. I've made a start. Morgan says, I've had my Flux for 3 years and it still hasn't got buttons. Oh, Morgan. I'm sure it's just lovely even without it. Someone else says, I wore Vila in a 2-ply lace weight as a stole with a simple linen dress for my niece's wedding. It really opened up and showed off the lace pattern better than round the neck. Yes, exactly. Like a stole would be beautiful. I think that's the thing for some of these. I just quite like the idea. It appeals to me, the idea of these sort of secret, I know it's beautiful and I know how luxurious she is and I can just wear her and that appeals to me because I know. But if you open her out and you have her really blocked hard and then you just wear her around your shoulders, it would, that she's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So I think, yeah, that would be just delicious as well. Anyway, sewing. So I have decided I'm just going to do these things. I'm going to steal back some of my time. And so I've got the fabric out. I've got a top that I cut out ages ago. I'm going to make that first. And then I just got a new pattern the other day. I got the Hinterland dress, which I've had my eye on for ages. And there's a couple of variations of that dress that I want to try. So I've picked some fabric and I've matched it with the dress. And I went to the copy shop and I actually got them to print it for me on an A0 just to get it done quickly. And I've started the process for the sewing. But what I have actually done is don't look too hard because I haven't done this for a long time. But I got my spinning wheel and I put it in the sitting room in front of the sofa and Mr. Myrtle kindly rubbed it all down and cleaned it up for me, and just reconditioned it. I had this cream to recondition my spinning wheel. I have a very old Ashford traditional spinning wheel. It's nothing fancy. I really would like one of those moving flies. I don't have that yet. I'm not going to let myself even think about that until I do more spinning again. I used to do quite a lot. And I just sat down and I put on a new fly and new brakes, and it's all spick and span and ready to roll. And then I just started spinning, and I thought, oh, this is really fun. I just can't remember. I couldn't remember bits and pieces, but I forgot how much fun it was. Now this is really shonky. Look, some of this has got really shonky as I twisted it way too tight. So this is my getting back in the rhythm of spinning. It's not too thick and thin, actually. I'm getting a little bit better. It could be better, though. It really could be better. Oh, look, there we go. We've got a little bit of thick and thin going on. But it's mostly thin. It's actually pretty shonky, to be honest. That bit might break. But I've got this. The reason I have a range of colours is because ages ago I bought some fibre from Wingham Woolwork. It's a British spinning place. I was actually on the hunt for, it was a long time ago, and I was on the hunt for like what are the carders? Well, you know, the things that you go like that, the like dog brushes that you could join together, and I couldn't find any in New Zealand at that point. It was when all the COVID crazy was happening and you couldn't get hold of stuff. So I ended up ordering some from Wingham Woolwork, and I got some fibre while I was at it, and they threw this in with it, and it's a dyed merino mixed color pack. So it's just really soft, 21 micron merino. It's all, you know, beautifully ready for you to go in these little bits like that. And I thought, oh, it's a good thing to start with. I could just start with that, and then I could just spin it together. So you can see I've already used, I think there was another color in there underneath. There is. I feel like there's one more hidden away. But anyway, I've already used these colors, and I'm just going to work my way through the bag until I've done it all. And then I think by then I will have my training wheels off again, and I will be back in the groove of it. And I'll ply it, and I'll do all the things, and then I'll have a nice little colorful ball of yarn that I can use. I think I'd quite like to, I'll do a little bit of Navajo plying. I think it won't make the most of doing any barber poling in it, but oh well, I'll just have a go. So that is what I've been doing, just in little bits. And I'm thinking that the way for me to do this is I have to actually say, right, I'm going to do this on that time, and I just need to block a little bit of time out. Otherwise, I'm just not getting to things that I really want to do, and literally years go by where I don't do the things I want to do, and that, you know, that's just terrible. I just find that absolutely terrible, because then I really miss it like crazy. So I figure I just have to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do in this time. And then when I very rarely do nothing. And so it isn't a matter of, it's a matter of like bumping something else off and then doing the thing I want to do, because, you know how it goes. I know you know how it goes. So I'm interested to hear how you do it. How do you do all the things as well that you want to do? Joe got a new spinning wheel. Oh, yay. What did you get, Joe? I'm interested to hear. Carla said, I've got the hinterland pattern too, and I've never made it. Well, would you like to make it with me, Carla? I reckon in about, I'll come back next week, and I'm going to show you the top that I will have finished by then. And I think I will at least have cut out this dress. I think that's what I'll do first. I actually have 3 pieces of fabric that I reckon I could have a bash in. One's a linen, one's a double gauze, and the other one is, they're over there. I don't even remember where I got the other one, but I've got all this fabric which I need to use, and they're all kind of plain. And I'm thinking of spring. You could wear them sort of winter, but they could go into the spring. And so I'll start with one, but I'll aim to bring you something. I'm going to bring you something next week to show you. That is my aim. Good. You guys can hold me accountable. Oh, your leg is broken, Carla. Oh, no. but you're super keen to sew when it's mended. All right, well, you just watch and I'll get started. And then when you're ready, I'll do it with you as well back then. Okay. Someone said I didn't need another hobby, but I bought an Ashford traditional at an op shop for $45 and I got a maintenance kit from Ashford and got it working. And then I was given, oh, this is Claire. And then I was given a Baines spinning wheel. And yesterday I found an Ashford Traveller in a secondhand shop and somehow it came home with me. So now she's gone from having 0 spinning wheels to 3 spinning wheels. I need to nip into the op shops a little bit more. That is absolutely fantastic. And what do you think of the Traveller? I think the Baines, I think I know what that one is like, but what is the Traveller like to use? Because I've got obviously the traditional, like your original one. I'm curious to know what you think of the Traveller. I don't know. I can't quite describe the pleasure that it gives me to, it's just like breathing, isn't it? Making things and this whole creative life, it's like breathing. And so it's nice to do. If you don't do it for a while, you really miss it and you really want to do it. And you realize something is desperately wrong. And so you have to make time for it. That's what I thought. I have to make time for it. So here I am. This is my declaration to you that I am going to do these things that I just so desperately want to do, as well as knit, still knit. So much knitting. All right, everybody, I will see you next week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you something that I have sewn. I'll do that next week. And with a bit of luck, I'll also have a little bit more spinning to show you. And maybe some more knitting. I'm going to try and do all of those things. I can't use the Traveller until I receive the break band from Ashford. Aha. Okay. All right. You can report back, Claire. Report back how it does. Am I doing buttons down the front? I didn't think so, Terry. I actually not at first. I saw a picture of someone in a hinterland that had just a round neck. Hers was linen, and I think I've had this picture for years, and it had the 3/4, like the longish sleeves. And then pockets. Nice. Well, I don't know if it's got pockets in it already. I haven't actually checked, but some nice pockets in it, and just reasonably plain, because I thought I could wear something interesting at the neck. I have this idea of wearing it with a nice long line cardie and some pockets in that as well. And I just inherited these really cool green leather shoes from my mum that she doesn't wear, and I'm thinking with some navy merino tights, and I've got this sort of blues and greens are all the colors of fabric, and I thought all of those things together, I can sort of see it in my head. Oh, it does have pockets too. Excellent. So yeah, I was thinking not buttons at first. I just thought plain. I just thought a plain one at first, just a nice I just have this urge to wear a dress. I just really want to wear a dress, so that's what I want to make. Yeah, there are lots of options, short sleeves, long sleeves. So I'm going to go for, first of all, no buttons, longer sleeves, pocket, and then I'm probably not too long. It probably won't be too long, because then I can wear it with tall boots and I can wear it with tights and things like that. Pulled out my Vela and I started working on it again. Excellent. So that's this little Vela shawl. I'm knitting it in Shibui Pebble Silk, Merino, Cashmere, and Ivory. Oh, it will be more than very nice, Kim. I think it'll be beautiful. Are Shibui still around? I don't think they're still around, are they? They have just some beautiful, beautiful yarn. I wasn't sure if they disappeared or whether just some of their range disappeared. I feel like I did know and I've just forgotten. But I know exactly. Pebble Silk, be beautiful. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. Kim, you have to post a picture of it when you've done. Okay, everyone, get ready for a creative thing. Oh my gosh, I nearly forgot to say, and I keep forgetting. I forgot last week. In the lounge, not the lounge, in the hangout, in the Truly Myrtle hangout, we are currently knitting Truly Myrtle patterns and or in Truly Myrtle yarn. You can knit Truly Myrtle yarn, Truly Myrtle patterns, and we're having a great big Truly Myrtle extravaganza. So come and bring all your projects into the hangout, keep saying the lounge, into the hangout and show us. We've got some albums to put things in. There are prizes. There will be prizes. We're going to go for all of August, and you're just invited to cast on something new or finish a whip. Either is fine. And you can either knit a Truly Myrtle pattern or you can knit in Truly Myrtle yarn. If you knit a Truly Myrtle pattern in Truly Myrtle yarn, you can double dip. You can go into both of the drawers, because there's going to be prizes for the knitting patterns and there's going to be prizes for knitting with the yarn. So there are some beautiful new colors for you to have a look at. If you haven't got any Truly Myrtle yarn, go and have a look at that. I think you'll love the new colors. I've got some on my needles, and you can pull patterns out from that you've had forever that you think that you should have knitted and you never have. You can finish stuff that's on your needles, and then you can enter it into the drawer, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do. And then at the end of August, so you've got a few weeks left. It's only the beginning of August. It's the 3rd. You've got right till the end of August, almost, I think, sometime in that week. And I'm going to draw some prizes, and then I'll announce them on the podcast. So come and join us for the extravaganza. It's always fun to be knitting together. Okay, everybody, I will catch you next week. Do heaps of knitting if you fancy it. Do some sewing, do some spinning, do some macrame. What else have I heard you guys doing? Do some mending, do some felting, do whatever it is that your heart desires. And I will see you next week.